Hi, I'm Isaac from RayCom, and today I'm joined by my colleague Andy, and we're going to take a look at the other transmission options available for the Phonak Roger system.
Okay, so on the rack here we've got three options of transmitter actually. There's a pair of the one at the back, but we're going to start with the touch screen. Now, very, very similar sort of functionality to the Roger base station. It has an audio input and provides a transmission out to the earpiece. Big difference here, obviously, much smaller, movable, autonomous unit, battery powered. So charging is through its own charger, or you can pop it into the little charging rack that we've got here. Nice little product that Phonak make. So what's its purpose? First of all, as I say, it's something you can walk around with, that you can move with it. So one of the ways of using this, you can hang it on a lanyard around your neck, and there are microphones on top of the unit, and you can just walk around hands-free, quite easily talking to the talent or the presenter, doing some prompting or you know, maybe some advice. You know, probably not the best thing to say, Mr. President, or you know, whatever you might be getting involved in. The other way of doing it is you can pop it on a desk, so a number of people can get involved in inputting and all getting their voices heard. Yeah.
Now, what kind of control over the earpieces do we have from here?
Yeah, this is the key thing. This is the other function, and it's probably the main reason why people buy the touchscreen. With this unit, it acts like a little remote control for the Roger earpiece. Yeah. You have to get fairly close to it. You know, you're getting up at this kind of distance to control an earpiece, so it knows which one it's talking to. But once the earpiece is registered into this unit, you can alter most importantly, the volume. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of talent that really like a very loud Roger earpiece in their ears, and others are saying, oh wow, it's too loud. Your level input is going to be pretty much the same. Either it's your voice, or if you're using a base station, you know, you've got you can use both of these transmitters at the same time, which is an interesting point. We'll just come back to that in a minute. But you might have a level set on the base station, and for some people it's a little bit too loud. So actually live on set, you know, not live on set, but on set you can go and turn down the Roger earpiece using this, we'll now call it a remote control, but it's the transmitter.
So if you wanted to sort of change the volume of two earpieces connected to the same base station.
Absolutely, yeah. You've got a single level going into the base station, but you can independently set the volume on the units here. Now, you know, we talked about you can use the two transmitters at the same time, the base station and the touch screen. How does that work together? If the base station is giving a transmission, it will always override.
It'll pick the base station first.
The touch screen. Yeah. The touch screen. You know, if the base station goes quiet in an interval in feed or something like that, so you know you might be shooting a piece, the base station's putting out its back feed or you know its IFB, and you're listening to that, and then it finishes, and everybody's the filming stopped. You've got a chance for a chat. Yeah. You can immediately, and without approaching the presenter or the talent or getting involved in the set, you can have a quick chat to them then through the touchscreen.
It's something maybe somebody else on set could use as well, as apart from maybe the director or something like that.
Yeah. It's they're additional, and you can have a number of touchscreens all working in the same area. You know, they will then contest the transmission opportunity. It'll be the person who's talking that gets through. You know.
Another key feature I think is you can name them as well, can't you? The earpieces.
Yeah, I mean you have the opportunity, because I'll just show you on the unit here. You have got a nice little screen on the front here that you can flick through various functions. I've just switched the mute button on there, so if you want to make sure that you're not being overheard, you can hit the mute button on the front, and you get a little red light there to say that you're not putting any transmission through. But there's lots of other functionality within the unit. Touch him on there. So this is where you control the connections to the unit, but then you've got the settings there. One of those settings is that you can name the earpieces. Now that's quite useful if suddenly you've got an array of earpieces that have come back from out of people's ears, and you're thinking whose is whose. You can go close to them and you can list devices there, and it'll give you a list of devices, and it'll tell you which one you're connecting to at that moment. So it can be used for ID purposes as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so that's the touchscreen. Standard 3.5 input, audio input on the bottom. USB or USB-C there for charging. And there we go. That's the
simple as that. Nice and pocket-sized.
That is the touchscreen.
Brilliant. So what's next?
Yeah. So the next transmitter we're going to look at is this one here. This is the Multimedia Hub. Quite a plain-looking unit, but very, very useful. 3.5 audio feed, jack audio feed, as most of the Roger units. Battery powered again. 10 to 12 hours battery life, independent charger or charging back in the rack, as we've seen before. So what do you use this for? Very simple. First of all, connecting an earpiece to it. You press the button on the front, hold the earpiece there, you get a green light. That's it. You're now connected. This is now connected to that earpiece. As simple as that. But there's no input. So there's only that audio input. So it's not like the touch screen. There's no microphones in this.
Yeah. Where
you use this is to bring in an audio feed from virtually anything, but the key thing is an IEM pack. So you've got your IEM pack, plug that in there. Output from the IEM pack is then coming into the Roger transmitter and out to the earpiece. The beauty of this is that you can then use the great benefits of UHF range associated with an IEM pack, which we know is going to be much more in excess of what you'll normally get with a 2.4 gig range of a Roger system. So you can have the feed a long away from the audio source.
Yeah.
Well, this becomes the audio source, of course. So where would you use this? If you've got talent, particularly maybe outside where 2.4 gig struggles, you can get a nice UHF radio feed across there. The talent has to wear both packs, of course, but then with the pack in their pocket or in their belt, it's then transmitting up to the Roger earpiece. So for on-screen purposes, you've got the unseen Roger earpiece.
Well, you get the range of RF with the discreteness of the earpiece.
Absolutely. Now that doesn't actually have to stay with the talent. This combination of units, you could be placing these up on a shelf, and then everybody in the room can be then getting their Roger feed from the combination of the Multimedia Hub and an IEM pack. And that is predominant in the way that people use these.
And do you still get the same range between the hub and the earpiece as you would the base station?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a similar range, 30 to 40 meters in a studio environment.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Okay.
So quite a simple little product, but very, very handy.
Yeah, superb.
Brilliant.
So the last of the transmitters that we're going to talk about today, well, in fact, the last of the transmitters in the Roger range, is this unit here, which is the Roger repeater. Now, it's a transmitter. It's also, of course, a receiver.
Yeah.
The idea of this is that it receives a signal from any of the other Roger transmitters and pushes it out again at a similar range than it was achieving from the original signal. So it's just a way of pushing that range out further and further and further again. We've talked about the range in the previous videos using an IEM pack.
Yeah.
But if you've not got an IEM pack, or you don't want to bring one on, or the talent doesn't want to wear it, this is a great way of achieving additional range in the Roger system.
Yeah.
So actually, you can use as many of these as you want. So you move from one to the second one and the third one and the fourth one. It'll keep on just daisy chaining and hopping and pushing the signal forwards to an unlimited number in theory. There is obviously a degree of latency as each movement is made. It's very small, and certainly up to 4 or 5 repeaters, you're not going to get any problems with any noticeable problems with latencies. It's a few milliseconds between each one.
I mean, before the latency would really become an issue, you may consider using a hub instead. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, if you were looking at that kind of distance that you were trying to achieve, I think then you'd be looking to move across to a multimedia hub and using the distance of the IEM.
And can the repeaters be used with all of the transmitter options?
Yes, yep. It becomes, as with all the Roger products, you kind of create a network of products.
Yeah.
So in the way that you can use base stations with the multimedia hub or with the touch screen, you can bring repeaters in there as well. As long as they're all on the same network, the functionality will carry on.
Yeah.
There's sorry.
So we're going to look at doing a separate video to sort of demonstrate how to use the repeaters, because they can be daisy chained as well. Obviously, we may want to go through that. So
yeah, I mean, we can show the kind of range that you'll achieve with the repeater.
Yeah.
And it's going to be good to do that.
Yeah.
Also, they're quite clever in that this nice big LED on the front, I've got this one switched off here, but this nice big clear LED on the front, you can see it's moved from green to blue there, and it has flashing green and flashing blue.
Yeah.
It gives you various different lights, and it can get a little bit confusing about what they're meant to be doing, but it's a really nice function. What this unit will do, it'll tell you when it's being useful.
Yeah.
So first of all, you get a blue light on here, and it says, you've got a connection there, you're seeing a Roger transmitter.
Yeah.
But it's saying, okay, I can see it, I'm within range, but I'm not really earning my money.
It's not doing anything.
I'm not really doing a great job, because you could get the transmission from that transmitter anyway.
Yeah.
So as you walk away, the LEDs will change colour and show you that you've reached the optimum point of being able to use, to be able to get some really good functionality from the repeater. And then when you go from another repeater to another, from one repeater to another, same functionality again. It's seeing the transmission from the first repeater. As you move away, it'll suddenly go green. You know that you've got a really useful positioning of that repeater.
Are there any points to consider when placing the repeaters?
It's exactly the same as with any of the transmitters, really. The higher up, above head height is a great place to put them. There's going to be times where it's not practical. With the multimedia hub, if it's sitting on somebody's belt, it's not going to be up high.
Yeah, but it's still something maybe to consider if you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
And talking about placing the unit around the presenter, this is another way that people use repeaters, because the transmission range on a repeater from a base station to a repeater is possibly going to be a little bit longer than you can normally get between a base station and directly to the earpiece.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind, of course, that you're moving further away. That's the reason why you're using a repeater. We've found that the repeater can get further away than just an earpiece.
Yeah.
So there's a way that some people use them. They will actually pop one of those in the pocket of the talent, so the transmission is coming to the repeater, and then the repeater is just doing the short distance
kind of if the
up to the
talent
earpiece.
moves.
Yeah.
We saw in our range test that obviously your head kind of impacts the signal quite a lot, so it sort of gives you a.
It takes away that because then the transmitter is very, very close to the earpiece, and you can do all sorts of different things that might be affected by a transmission from a base station some way away, but certainly won't be from that.
Brilliant. I mean, that's covered all the points I wanted to look at. Is there anything else you wanted to mention?
Yeah, there's a few accessories that we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
We've talked about transmitter accessories, and there's a few little bit of things to sort of finish off the Roger range. We have talked about a couple of these in previous videos.
Yeah.
Batteries, obviously, something that's very important to have plenty of those around. They come in packs of 6. It's worth having a box of those about, because new battery every day, we know that is a good idea.
And it's crucial to make sure it is the Phonak.
Yeah, we'll repeat again, the Phonak battery. It's not just a promotion of trying to push expensive Phonak batteries, because actually they're about the same price as everybody else's batteries, but for some reason they last a lot longer, quite considerably longer. We're not talking about 10%, 20%.
Yeah.
We're talking 3-4 times the run time by using a Phonak battery. So really important to do that. And I know it's tempting. You've got some other batteries on site, from other leading brands, but Phonak battery is the only way to go. There's a very nice little neat cleaning spray, which I'm not too sure of the content of it. I'm sure it's perfectly safe to use in your ears, but once again, it's a Phonak branded product, so it can give confidence to the talent that you're using the correct materials to look after the earpiece, to make sure it's nice and clean to go in their ear. So that can be useful. And then the soft wraps we talked about before, to increase the comfort of using the earpiece. Yeah,
I mean, we have a look at how to fit the soft wraps in one of the previous videos. So if you wanted to have a look at that, maybe drop by and look over that. We go quickly through how to fit them, because it's not just round the end, is it? It's in a spiral up the earpiece.
It is, yeah. It's a good thing. And you know, to finish off, really, one of the most important things for using with a Roger, the earbuds, so that you can give your user's ear a little bit of a clean before using it, makes a big difference to the maintenance that you might have to do on the unit afterwards.
I mean, we touched on that wax can be quite an important factor in running an earpiece. So if you can sort of preempt it, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Perfect.
A lot of these products, you know, there's maybe other questions that everybody's got, and the number one thing with any kind of product like this, if you've not used it before, you know, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Yeah.
And we want to get these things put in the ears of everybody who's not experienced it to see what it's really like.
Yeah.
Phonak are supporting us as RayCom, and they're offering anybody that really wants to try this unit, there are demo kits available. Yeah. So either, you know, I or one of my colleagues will come along and help you and talk you through it and allow people to give it a use, or we can send you a demo kit and let you play for a couple of days by yourself. I mean, that's the real way to get the feel of the benefit of using a virtually invisible and very easy to wear IFB.
They're a brilliant bit of kit, and we'd love for more people to be using them. That's covered everything we wanted to talk about. Thanks for your help, Andy. If there's any other information you want, feel free to drop us a message. We'll put the details on screen, and to arrange one of those demos as well, because it'd be really good to have a look at the product. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.